There was something that just made it to one of these two rooms.
We're documenting a structure that we found last night.
I'll go up to the house, bang on it, and say, "I don't believe."
Yeah.
Now,
What the fuck was that?
All right, and welcome to the Cryptic Heartland podcast. I'm too tongue tied tonight. I'm not gonna try that whole spiel.
Okay, no worries.
The bear's not here anyway, so
Bear's coming back. We'll poke him.
yeah.
Yeah, we're a bit exhausted from
Yeah.
from last night's investigation, public event that we had. But yeah, welcome back. This is the Cryptic Heartland podcast. Like, share, spread everything. Tired. Very, very tired. Didn't get very much sleep today at all. Yeah. Spread the word of our show and everything like that, so we can get
Jason,
more
I think
likes.
you're turning a little red there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. I think last night topped it all for me last night, you know?
It was definitely interesting.
That was so we had an investigation, you know, and I'm sorry you missed it.
I do apologize
Yeah.
for missing it.
No, it's not your fault. It's not
Sounds
your
like it was
fault.
a good time, though.
If you want to call it that.
An eventful time, we'll call it that.
It was an event, that's for sure. It was,
My Facebook isn't showing that.
I've got it up here.
You do?
So
Okay.
yeah, it's up.
Let me go check it out.
but yeah, it was. So, how do you feel about last night, Jeremiah?
Well-
because last night was your first time ever going to yeah, I almost messed up.
Yeah.
It was your first time ever going to this location. You've always wanted to, and you finally got the opportunity to go.
So the location was awesome. Like you said, that's been a long-standing dream of mine to get to that particular location. I started trying to push for that like 11 years ago, I'm stoked, beyond stoked, that you guys were able to actually make it happen. And this is your third time there.
Yeah.
It was my first time, but it was like I said, the location was amazing. Some of the crowd that we had there made things a little bit interesting. So, but we did have some good activity and some fun stuff happen. It just, I'm not a crowd person, so I'm probably
Yeah.
not the fairest one to.
Last night really made me want to rethink how, or if we do a public event again. It's definitely made me rethink like some major ground rules of guests and stuff like that. It was definitely difficult. I was pretty much pissed off. Probably about 20-30 minutes into
Right, yeah.
like just setting up.
Yeah,
I was already just I was pretty livid.
yeah.
You could tell I was a little mad last
Well, I
night.
could understand.
Yeah.
Just for hearing the little bit I have heard.
Well,
That's just wrong. I mean,
right. And we'll get to what all happened here in a little bit, but we try to take ourselves as serious as we can because of the fact that, as anybody who's done any paranormal work knows, that it takes a lot for any of this to be taken serious by the public, by the media, by anybody. We get a lot of
Hang on just a second. For those of you guys watching at home, we are having some trouble, a little bit of difficulty with the video feed right now, but Don't worry. I will get it back up in just a second. It's you guys. Y'all's camera crapped out on
That's
me. So
okay. We can watch you.
you can you can keep talking. They can still hear you. So.
Can you hear me? Andrew?
We're gonna listen to you talk.
I'm not going to be doing much talking because I got to get the damn camera running again.
All right. That's no problem. No, like I was saying, and tonight, we're missing some equipment. Leo's not feeling too good, so he's not here tonight. So he's got some of the stuff with him, some of our extra cameras. So we're kind of limited on
Winging it
on some of the cameras and equipment here. We so like I was saying, it takes a lot for us to be taken serious, and that's not just our team, but any team. Because appreciated, or take any of our evidence for real, because of the fact that we get people like this
right.
that come in. Last night, let's just say all of our guests, I'm just going to say it because I don't give a shit, and this is our show and we can say what we want to because we can, right?
Our show. Let's
Right?
do it.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So all of our guests, thank God it wasn't the entire amount. We had, it was supposed to be up to 25 people. Thank God only 14 showed up.
Right.
And all 14 were drunk. Completely drunk. Some of them groping each other.
Take it seriously.
Take it seriously.
Give it a little bit.
And protect the actual stuff that we're there to investigate. Not only the artifacts, but ourselves. Make sure the clients are doing well throughout the night. It's such a man. It was, talk about the most aggravating time I've ever had doing an investigation publicly.
Mm-hmm.
That was awful.
Yeah.
That was awful. And the fact that they kept drinking throughout the night.
Yep. Right.
That was a little overboard. And I'm still waking up from all that myself, and tired, and so it's still fresh on my mind. So right off the bat, I'm going to talk about it. I think it's ridiculous that anybody pays a certain amount of money for a large group of people to go and do a paranormal investigation, and you're drunk.
Right.
You're why do that?
I don't get it. I don't know.
Is that, I don't understand why certain people out there think that going to a paranormal investigation, it's going to be a party. It's going to be an outrageous party. Mm-hmm. Doing the Wichita Ghost Tour on the bus, because it's on a bus, they automatically start to think that it's going to be a party bus, that it's going to be a party. And I always have to bust their bubbles and tell them it's not that kind of tour, it's not that kind of bus tonight.
Right.
I'm not going to handle you being drunk while I'm trying to entertain or do something.
Put the cooler back in your car, buddy. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's not coming on the bus.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, on the bus tour, no alcohol allowed. It is, and we got a cat in the house.
Cat agrees.
But I cannot stand it. It just made it the worst. You're grown adults, and you were all acting like you were a bunch of college kids or high schoolers that were completely drunk, out of control, not knowing how to handle yourself in the dark and among other people.
Right.
You know, and that's the thing that I was even getting more worried about is whether or not we had, you know, protection for our own gear. You know, not only did we drive all the way there, but then we had to bring out all of our gear that some of it, you know, just like the DVR cameras themselves is like $700, $800 right there, you know, and that's just the DVR cameras.
Right. Yeah.
At that point, you know, so why the fuck would I want to even put out any gear or let anybody touch it? You know, it makes no sense. It really upset me, like really hardcore last night.
Yeah, you know, and you know, okay, so I get, you know, I get wanting to, you know, have fun, kick back, and relax and everything. But if you're going to something like that, I don't understand the idea of, you know, just being, you know, well, just being as inebriated as some of the people that we've seen recently. You know, because how do you enjoy something like that when you're that inebriated?
Right, and right off the bat, I tried to tell them at the beginning that it's an investigation. We do not fake any of this. We have not tricked this out so there's things going to pop out, because it doesn't work that way.
Right.
None of it works that way. It's patience, as Jake was even saying. You know, it's but nobody understood that. They expected, you know, results within the first 20 minutes or so of it, you know, and it just...
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
It was frustrating. It was frustrating.
They don't come out and play on command like that.
If they did, we wouldn't be needed in life.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be needed. Nobody would be needed for this, because it would have already been captured 1,000 times over, you know, if it worked that way. But it doesn't. It takes patience. It takes learning the equipment, trying to do all that, and nobody was.
Right.
I didn't even get your SLS out last night.
You did?
Didn't even get mine out.
Really?
Nope. Once I heard that they were already drunk when they showed up, I just started closing things and said, screw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to do any recording. I'm not going to be doing anything. It was just ridiculous.
Right.
You know, it was ridiculous.
Well, yeah, using expensive equipment like that, trying to prove yourself, and then all these people just making a mockery of it. It's just not the way. It just irritates me.
And the whole night it was, you know, Ghostbuster jokes, and you know, and as soon as every time they go back to break, did you see a ghost? Did you see it? And everyone's like, oh, no, I didn't, you know. It was just, it was absolute mocking the entire time.
Yeah.
One guy in the group walked me over to the, you know, I was walking him over to the equipment to kind of show him everything, you know, and he just kept going, dude, seriously, you believe in this stuff? Seriously, do you believe in this stuff? You know, and just really mocked me the whole way. And I looked at him and I said, dude, I wouldn't be doing this for 15 years if I didn't fucking believe it.
Right.
So
right, look at yeah.
I was just so angry last night, and maybe I should have had Lena read me last night. Maybe I would have been. She would have felt some of my anger coming through. I don't know.
Well, I mean, did they show the same disrespect towards Lena as well?
I don't know. I hope not. I hope not, and I don't think so. I think they were over there. I heard some of them actually talking good things, you know, because they were the things that she was picking up on them, and stuff. You know, they were whispering and you know, and quiet, but you know, they were inebriated, so whispering is kind of like normal talking.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, it was. And I know Renee and Chris were having a bad time too last night, and Jarrett in their group. I know they weren't having the best of time. And it's just sad. Yeah. It's absolutely sad that we...
Well, you know, it's well, it's like you were saying a while ago. The one guy, I don't know. We may just have an audio-only podcast tonight, guys. I can't seem to get this other camera
what?
to reconnect.
That works. I'm half asleep, and he can talk. We can talk with no video. That's
we
all
don't do
right.
that day anyway. You don't want to see it.
But yeah, they're out there. They're challenging the spirits, and they're just they don't understand why something's not happening right now. Where's the scariest? That's a question that got to me the most last night. Where's the scariest, most creepiest place we can go to so something will happen? Because I don't believe in this shit, and I want something to happen because I want to see something so I can believe.
And that was that one arrogant guy that was saying that too.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that way.
No,
man.
it doesn't.
It never
are-
has happened that way. It doesn't work that way whatsoever.
Yeah. You know, and I mean, from my experience, the vast majority of the time when stuff, happens like that just on command, it's not really
Hello, Shirley.
generally something you end up wanting to happen.
Right,
Actually,
right.
And just like Andy said, they were making jokes and doing put downs to us and everything like that.
Right,
Not taking it
yes.
serious. There's probably, there's in our group that we had, there was only one gentleman that had legitimate stuff happening with the equipment, and it caught his eyes and it caught his attention. So he was actually paying attention. It's what they were. And we've done a lot. We've done a lot over the years.
It's
And
probably
Right.
due time for one of this. I mean, you
Yeah.
see that other teams have this issue often, and it's probably due. It's out of the way
Yeah.
now, which is good.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
for the most part, you got to think about it. I mean, we have really good, patrons. I mean, excellent patrons all the time, and so I guess it was due to have a group of ignorance and jackasses.
Yeah.
I guess.
But why pay the money to do such a thing?
Well, and again, a lot
Just-
of money, and
yeah.
and again, half of these people, or if not all of them, were professionals,
Yeah.
and so professionals making a mockery of themselves like that. Why?
Well, when I say they paid a lot of money, we don't get any of that money.
No, we don't get any of that.
We
right.
don't see a penny. We drove all the way there. We use all of our gear that costs out of our pockets. It's our energy, our experience. We're trying to do our best to entertain and guide them through a night of trying
hey,
to
looky there! I
research.
got camera back.
No, you're supposed to stop. No. But no, it was. I don't know. It was just
Yeah.
beyond that, and they kept trying. I don't know about that guy that was in your group, but I mean, I heard him a few times at the beginning. I want to see some real dark shit. I want to see this. I want to be scared because I don't believe in this. And then he's being told that the skeptics are the ones with the most psychic abilities.
Mhm.
So then he goes out there and has that in his mind now. He's
a psychic.
Oh, now and I'm like, oh my God, why?
Right.
Wow.
Why are you being told no? No, you're just
Well,
arrogant and
keep it in the
stupid. But
Wow.
because it just doesn't work.
Right. It just doesn't. But
I could say that 1,000 times right now. It just doesn't work that way. But whatever.
yeah.
I guess if you are a skeptic, you are automatically a psychic, and you want to see the darkest shit. And if he was psychic, then he already knows what's coming. Then
Yeah.
Right.
then he should know where he needs to go, and where he needs to go is go home. But
Sleep it off.
but he should have known where he needed to go see some dark shit.
Show me which way to go. Son.
Yeah, so it's whatever. But on another note, did have the team members actually had some good
Yeah.
experiences
Yeah.
ourselves, because for the fact that we actually knew what we were waiting for and what we were wanting to listen for, and trying to ignore all the talking, ignore
Right.
all the inebriation.
It's actually quite amazing we were able to have any good experiences with all
Yeah.
the babysitting that we had going on, but we did. I mean, I heard disembodied voices and saw a rocking chair move. That was cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me about
Yeah.
got to play with the music box in one of the locations for damn near an hour. We were playing with that thing and getting good results with it. So,
that. Yep.
and we had some what's that other? I don't know what it's called, but the other machine that you guys have, it's a fairly new piece of equipment, but you can listen to the playbacks immediately.
Oh, that's the
The revamp.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that thing, whatever you said.
Yeah.
The revamp, yeah.
Yeah.
But we had some.
That was a
strange stuff
Really. Wow.
going on with that.
Yeah.
It was I don't. Of course, I don't know how the device works. So
That was it's Paranologies. It's Jeremy Jones and them made that. What it is basically just a box that you're supposed to like ask the questions out loud, hit record for about 20-30 seconds, hit replay. If you hear an answer, you hit next, and it kind of just saves it and you move next. But if you didn't hear anything, hit delete and move on.
Right.
It's supposed to just be like a live recording of EVPs, and then just move on if you don't. It's to
Right,
get
right.
through it quicker, basically.
right, and that it was really cool. But I mean, we were getting like at one point, the gal that was operating it, she recorded a question, waited like you're supposed to,
Right.
and then hit the playback, and then it just played back. It just played back an answer, almost. I mean,
Really?
it wasn't the voice of it. It was like 3 seconds long, but she probably had the record button going for 20-25 seconds, I'm guessing. But the segment was 3 seconds long, maybe shorter. So I don't know. It was,
hopefully
but
you
it was like a.
Yeah, I need to go back and just play it all.
Yeah, it was like a it would have been a fitting answer. What was recorded on it would have been a fitting answer to the question that was asked. It was just odd that the rest of the recording wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I had a recorder in that room with us, so I should be able to have all that,
That's
on
That'd
on
be
file.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
That's a neat tool. I mean, I've played with it quite a bit.
Yeah.
You can turn up the mic where it picks up further distances. It works great. I haven't had a lot of luck with it. In Nest City, I got a few things there. But yeah, that's awesome. You got something there. Was it upstairs or down?
it was up on the hill.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Nest City or Wilson?
No, Nest City.
The bank building?
Yeah.
Did I have it back then?
Yeah, you did.
I did. I did.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was a Christmas present. I don't know. I'm too tired to know.
No, you had it in Nest City.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But yeah, it's a great piece, and had some good luck with the 360. That's also a Paranologies.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you used it much last night, because I think I think I was carrying it around a lot. 'Cause we were using it with Jake, and doing that, and what it is, it's a just has like some prongs sticking all the way around it, and it lights up with static electricity all the way around it. It kind of shows where the motion is around it.
Right.
So, and only half of it was lighting up as if something was passing
that
by,
one side, yeah.
only on the one side.
Right.
And that happened quite a few times, and we
Yeah.
even kept moving it in different directions and different locations, and it worked.
Yeah,
That's
It was
sweet.
working.
that's really cool. The the portal app, we had some interesting stuff coming through on that last night.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. I was too busy being pissed that I
Yeah,
forgot
yeah.
about doing that.
We heard Roth's name called twice. He wasn't
Really?
even there.
Yeah.
But it was
Wow.
it was plain as day. One of the other team members in my group heard it too, plain as day. So
It seems like in all of our locations that we have been, Roth seems to be a favorite.
Well,
Yeah.
they. All right. So, was you above or below there?
that was that was on the second floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they
The video.
they picked on him a lot there.
Uh-huh.
You know, in an old building that no longer is there, they picked on him there. In the house,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they thought they caught the magical.
Yeah.
That it turned out it
Yeah.
wasn't. But yeah, he was picked on 2 or 3 times in the last investigation there, and so I'm pretty sure there's somebody rolling around there waiting for Roth to show back up.
Right.
They wanted to give him some more. I mean, they physically touched him. They called him out in one of the buildings. Yeah, it was awesome. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, now it doesn't surprise me that his name gets called out.
Right,
Before,
yeah.
but it's still weird that because he has such a unique name.
Mhm.
Because it
Yeah.
looks like Roth,
Yeah.
but it's Roth.
Right. Exactly.
How he pronounces it.
Exactly.
So it's not a name that would just naturally popped out
Mm-mm.
of a ghost box or a spirit box or anything like that.
Renee, it could be because he has pizza.
Yeah,
could.
it could be.
They may want some pizza. You never know.
Get hungry in the afterlife.
Yeah.
Roth was supposed to be here. He may still show up tonight for the show. He
Yeah.
had to run back up to the restaurant, but last night was just an experience I don't want to live through again.
Yeah.
I almost wanted to walk out.
Yeah.
I wanted to give the first rotation a chance to see, because they acted like, at first they wanted to be involved and stuff like that, and I was kind of weary about handing anything to anybody,
Yeah.
the equipment, but then I started doing it, and then within about 20 minutes, they walked outside and left to go do whatever, who
Right.
knows, and the equipment was just laying on the ground,
Uh-huh.
just like upside down, and like they just like tossed it on the ground and left.
Wow.
I was so mad. I was at that point I was livid,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Elizabeth even found it and she brought it over and stuff, and oh my god, I was so mad.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like, it's disrespecting us too, and that's what I feel like I have the right to bitch about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's just wrong.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
well-
I wouldn't want it on any other team that had to go through that, and deal with that crap.
Right. It's you spend a lot of money on that equipment, and
Right.
we and you guys have put a lot of time and effort and energy into developing this thing called Road Trip Paranormal into what you have, and it's just to have someone treat your property and your reputation like that, and it doesn't even matter whether or not they knew that we were all there for free.
Right.
That doesn't matter. I mean, there's no call to treat someone and their property like that.
Right.
So it just
Right. Yeah. No, it's and I've had to deal with the drunk, the inebriated group of people once before, except it was on a bus tour, doing the Wichita Ghost Tour. Had a bus. It was one of the largest buses for the party bus. It was for one of the universities. It was sold out. Had about almost 50 people on it, And this was when we were still able to go into the forum.
Right.
Okay. Well, so this is when I decided, I didn't want any events to have any alcohol. Since then, I've cut the ghost tours. No more alcohol. You're not allowed. If I even sense you are, I'm asking you to leave. I'll refund your money. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
But it was a bunch of college students on this bus tour. And it was a few years ago, and I'll never forget. They were drinking so much, and prior to that, they all had to pee like halfway through it. And the bus driver was getting so aggravated because one girl was so drunk she almost had to go to the bathroom in the aisle.
Wow.
Because she was just like begging,
Oh my God.
So he stopped. We spent like 20 minutes at a Quick Trip, letting them all. They all get off, and I'm like, "Jeez,
Right.
come on!"
Right.
So I skipped half the tour, took him over to the forum, walked him in, sat him down. I'm up on stage. I'm telling the stories of the hauntings and the stuff that's going on. I see some of them kind of getting intrigued because they're looking around at this beautiful place. You remember what it looked like.
Yeah.
And that's when we all get up. We're going to take them around, walk them around and stuff like that. And as they all get up, there's this one girl who is like just slumped over in a chair. And I'm thinking, oh crap.
Yeah.
So I get over there and I'm poking on her, and I'm trying to get her to wake up, and I'm like, oh Jesus, are you dead?
Right.
Because you're not even moving, and then she wakes up, she's like drunk as can be. She ends up walking out the locked doors, you can't come back in. The front, she's sitting out there on the steps looking at at Douglas or Hillside right there.
Right.
And it was just mayhem. And last night was like a flashback of the stupidity of everything that was going on with them.
Right.
And I just, if that's karma coming back at me, okay, fine. But but come on, it was just ridiculous, and that's why I'm not going to deal with that shit again.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but the bus tour, it makes for a good story now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure last night's gonna make for a good story.
Yeah.
It'll take
Once
a couple weeks to get over it.
Yeah. Once
Especially-
the anger wears off.
Especially when there's a couple of women groping each other in a corner. As we're trying to investigate, and turn around and it's like, oh, what's going on over here,
Oh my God.
The spirits
So-
made me do it.
Yeah. I mean, why? Why last night? Why?
Oh jeez. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was in my group. So,
So interesting.
and,
That's
oh my God. I don't know how many other teams out there, have public events where they have like this kind of crap going
Oh,
on.
I'm sure.
Probably plenty.
Yeah, if they've had public events, they probably had to deal with it to some extent. But
But I try to pride ourselves, with the fact that we get into locations, whether it's through reputation, through the chances of everything. It's I try to protect that
Well-
location the best I can.
so there's one positive about the deal last night, and that is just simply the fact that it was just that group. Everyone in the group was guilty of it all, and it didn't ruin anyone else's night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there weren't other paying guests that had to suffer through it too.
Right.
So-
That's the other things we've had in the past is where there's been people come in, one or two people that ruin a group's night,
Yeah.
or at least half of it before we ask that person to
Right.
either
Yeah.
shape up, shut up, or get the hell out, or anything like that.
Lawrence about had that, but of course he wasn't part of the group. He tried to be.
Who?
Drunk cowboy? Lawrence?
Oh, yeah. We had that. Cause last year, in Lawrence, we helped out with an investigation, public event. It wasn't quite soundproof to us. There was, let's just say, the hotel couldn't shut down, the restaurant couldn't shut down, the bar couldn't shut down.
Right.
So it left for a public investigation that left us, just
Out in the
doing our thing, but with like
with a big audience.
with a huge audience walking by looking at us and everything with strange looks in their faces, but especially when you're sitting there with dowsing rods and
Right.
and people who are there for wedding parties and receptions are looking at us like, what the hell. But yeah, last October we had was it last October? No,
a year
ago, almost
September.
2 years ago. Damn.
Wow.
Almost 2 years ago. It was October of 17 that we had this drunk cowboy come up and try to talk his way into everything that
Yeah.
night, and showing pictures of how he had all this hauntings over in Tombstone and
Deadwood.
and
Yeah.
all this stuff, and
He had some good stuff. He's
You
a
know.
nice guy.
one person, it's okay. But how's Roth doing? You just gonna stand there?
How's it going, everybody?
Pretty good. So you haven't heard about what happened last night?
No, I
Ah,
heard through the grapevine that you had an incident like the one you were just kind of maybe talking about.
yeah.
Oh, boy.
We had. What would you have done with that last night? We had. Thank God, not 25, which was supposed to be 25, but we had 14 people, all drunk.
Oh no.
All drunk.
All drunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but I mean, I heard
Okay.
about it.
No. Yeah.
You were just drunk somewhere else, right?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, I was sober last night.
Man, if it were me,
But they
and-
paid.
but-
They
but
paid.
They paid. Yeah. Since they paid, I would have probably just gone and talked to the lady that was in charge of Boot Hill at that point in time.
I tried.
Ask her what her opinion was.
Not naming names or
Yeah.
locations.
Locations, and
Bet
then
that's okay. You just did.
I didn't know. I thought you guys
Sorry.
were talking about. But
Well, that's
anyways,
okay.
I'd probably
They already know.
get with them and let them know what's going on, and then just try to contain it the best you can, since somebody had already paid
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah,
And then
good.
just taking a lot of video, so we'd have something to talk about.
Oh,
right
there's
now.
video. There's video. There's audio of it all. So
I think on situations like that, as long as I've known you guys in the group, I know it's probably frustrating to you because it's our name that's out there, and you guys always, preach and preach that there's only one way that we do it. And I know it can get frustrating for you guys, but in situations like this, I think the only thing you can do is contain
yeah.
everything the best that you can, and hope for some good
Oh man,
laughs.
they're inebriated.
Really.
Yeah. You may,
Girl groping.
yeah.
Don't
Why
use
was I
silence.
not text?
Because you didn't want to see that one. You didn't want to see that one. But no, it was interesting. I think you would have been yeah.
Smiled a lot.
Yeah, I think this would have been above the female rock incidents, in your time,
Wow.
This would have been like above that. That would have just sit down everything that we did the last couple of months, and been like,
Oh,
oh,
my
shit,
goodness.
this was awful. Yeah, it was awful.
How'd everything go with the owners? And were they okay with everything?
Oh no, they weren't okay with it, but
Oh,
it
no.
was just. But
So
it
that
wasn't
wasn't
on
on
us.
us.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it
it's
wasn't
not
on
on us.
us.
It wasn't on us. It was just the fact that I had a group that paid and they bought it out, so that we had to do what we did. So it was.
You think there will be another one?
Yeah, there'll be another one. Just I'm gonna put my foot down on regulations on how it goes, because that was just messed up last night. So, yeah.
Oh no, that's too bad. So, any other stories? I mean, did you have any?
Yeah. I mean, besides the fact that we had that going on, Jeremiah had a lot of stuff going on and hit with his. He was talking about earlier in our group. Jake, we were all upstairs in a house, and
all the way down at the end
yeah, up in the house.
where I thought I had that
Yeah.
video. Okay.
Yeah, it's the only house there.
Okay.
We heard actual disembodied singing
Oh, really?
in the room that everybody was in, and everything. So
wow, that's
yeah,
cool.
and because that we were told that there's a female spirit that's being seen there and heard there, and the fact that everyone was talking, but then all of a sudden you hear this woman sing for just a few seconds, and it stopped Jake cold. He was just like, "Did you hear that?" Because he really thought it was like some of the younger girls in the room, and they were like, "No, that wasn't us."
Was that upstairs or downstairs? Up.
Yeah. And same room where Jeremiah had a rocking chair move on its own, was rocking on its own up there. So
Yeah, that was
definitely
cool.
some things going on and everything. So it's
Same room you spotted
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the information.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Jeremiah, did you get anything going up the spiral staircase by chance?
Spiral staircase.
Yeah, it's a not spiral, but it's
But
Oh, in the house.
in the where it had the arch.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta throw something at him. Do you know why that indention is there in the stairwell?
No, I don't
It's
know.
not for flowers.
It's not for flowers, and it looks like it looked like a place you could put a nice vase with flowers
Well,
or
a
something.
lot
in
of
it.
people do. A lot of people have.
Yeah.
That's in houses you see that. I don't know if did you even notice that indentation?
I didn't even notice it.
Okay.
I was so focused on trying to write herd on that group, I didn't notice. I really think I could have had a lot more thorough experiences if I had been able to not have to write herd on that group
Yeah.
so much. No, I noticed that there was a very staticky, sticky, webby feeling upstairs.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't really pick up on anything.
Did you guys, when you were up there last year, did you have any like dizzy feelings or up there in that area?
Unfortunately, I
in the
usually
hallway.
don't.
Yeah,
In the hallway
I
down
don't.
to the
I don't
right
normally.
was the sonar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally I don't, but last night, I was following Jake into a different room, and yeah, I felt like it was just like a disoriented feeling, like dizziness, like I was just stepping. I didn't want to say it.
Into another time, into a portal.
I was like, I even mocked it myself. I was like, oh God, it was a portal. Oh my God.
That's interesting.
So,
No, not,
Do you remember what room it was? Is it the one that has all the?
I'll tell you at break.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way we don't give away too much. But there's a couple spots in there that I can probably tell you where you felt it, and it's.
Well, we had a tree stand go launching across the room in one of those rooms.
That same room.
Is that one? Okay.
Yeah.
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 That was pretty cool. And
Wow.
nobody was around it. I mean,
That's interesting.
to be in a room, and I don't have a lot of experience like, Jeremiah and you guys do, but when something like that happens and they all stare at you, like, what do you do? Why are y'all looking at me?
I didn't do it.
Run!
Wow.
Run, boss, run!
I got to be the last one out. Come on, people. Get moving.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That's an interesting place. I like it. Just sad that people
Have
had
you
that.
have you talked about some of the stuff that's in the rooms at all? So I don't say something like the
You haven't been
the,
on here in a while.
the clothing. I know the last time I think was Jake with us the last time we went.
Yes.
Okay, It's where all the dresses are, the gowns.
Yeah, in that one room.
We had a lot of action going on in there.
That's where we were sitting when we had all got all that good interaction with the music box.
Yeah, they were using Jake's music box.
Okay.
Which the music box, for everybody watching, it's just it's basically like a motion sensor with something passing by it, and it kicks on a music box and it plays. It's pretty creepy when it's in the dark. So
It basically does the same thing that my little laser thing does.
Yeah.
It shoots a beam, so it reflects off this side and it hits here. So anything that crosses in between.
I prefer the music box over the beam because that beam scares the shit out of me every time. Because I'm the one who breaks it and it goes off and screams at me, and I almost fall down every time. Because I'm not expecting that to scream at me.
No.
I was up in the balcony. Up in the catwalk area of the depot.
I heard about that.
When I tripped it, and it went off. I didn't even know you had that son of a gun.
I apologize. That was crazy.
And I didn't even know how to turn it off. I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know you set it up there. And I'm like falling down almost like, what the?
Goodness.
Yeah, because it's so loud.
It is so loud.
It is piercing, But it's worked very well. It's worked well with at the shop.
Oh, yeah.
They're in front of the office there. It's worked really, really well. I mean, as soon as we sit down and start talking at the shop, that motion sensor, the beam, something breaks it and it triggers
there.
it.
And it just stands there.
Yeah.
And then you walk towards it, then it goes away.
Yeah.
And you walk back.
And we've
it
had
goes
that
away.
in multiple locations in the front of that shop, Jeremiah, which is, pretty amazing for that thing to go off.
Right.
But I would have been good to use it last night.
I'm sorry, I need to get it put in that box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't there, and I'll be
Could we
honest.
get a list of everything you have? That way we can just check it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
That way you can go and, I'll take
I need this, and hand it in to you, like an inventory. Can I check this out?
I need to set up my case different to it's easier to transport when we get there.
But I'll be honest, we didn't use everything last night, in our arsenal.
Yeah. Well, it was like you were saying a while ago. I mean, it comes to a point in an event like that,
your babysitting.
What's the point? I mean, 'cause it's not going to really make that big of a difference.
A lot of people usually want to watch the SLS and see what's happening. Not one damn person was even interested. Jake's just walking around on his own.
Yeah.
Doing it, and everyone's just sitting there.
Or
laying on the ground.
or
groping.
I am going to call this out because this really kind of pissed me off.
Let's do it.
Andy,
I got it.
Andy just made a comment about how well I was biting my tongue, and there was one point last night where I actually almost didn't, because the very obnoxious person in my group. In the very last rotation, we were sitting in kind of a common area, but we were getting some funky shit going on the mel meter, and with a cell sensor sitting right there next to it, and there was a lot of fluctuation, and the mel meter was bouncing back and forth between like 3.5 and all the way up to 10.9.
Wow.
Sitting still, not stable, not a stable field. Something's moving around there. And I'm like, holy shit.
Is it
Look
elevated
at
area?
Huh?
Elevated area?
No, it was right on the floor. And so I'm working with this, and I'm asking questions, and I felt like we were about to a point where we were going to be able to get some on-command interaction with the mel meter. Which is always impressive to us. I guess it wasn't to this guy, though, because he said, I want to hear something. Fuck this machine. Hit something. And I just wanted to reach over and smack him.
That's when you wish you had that same person that smacked you in the hallway.
I'll invite him next time.
That
I'll
would,
bring that guy
yeah,
with
that
me.
would have been awesome.
Well, we all should have just took turns and punched him. You know, I mean, that would have been more fun if he wanted to.
Right.
If he wanted something hit, or he wanted to feel something, or see or something, we should just all walked by and just punched him, one by one. You know, here
Right.
you go.
We need to get one of them fly salt shooters, you know, because it's dark. You know, somebody
Oh gosh, that would be
irritating
funny.
like that, just shoot him in the eye with salt. Just be done with it.
What was that? Get a silencer for
I will
it.
never fake evidence that way, guys. But I mean, I just will put some salt in his eyes. That way he feels something. That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Right.
He'll feel it. He'll feel it very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Oh my gosh.
Man. I mean, the millimeter sitting there running, 3.5 up to 10. That's pretty significant.
Yeah, that's really
evidence right there.
significant. Yeah, it is.
You know,
But
on now.
but they don't comprehend
They
that.
don't
and they don't know
comprehend that.
anything of what they're doing. Or
they would know if
And-
they'd listened to it at the beginning when you told them.
I tried.
You know, exactly.
I tried.
Yep.
I
I
was
went over it twice with them.
Yeah.
You know, the significance of the meters and the equipment that we use, and
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we all do in the groups and rotations. You know, we
Oh,
just
yeah.
try to explain everything to how it's going to work, what we're going to do. This is, so we can do this and have fun and try to have that interaction.
Mhm.
But it's like, damn.
Right.
Yeah, I think the places that are running those that do that kind of stuff, the events with us, are going to have to start taking a little control on their own end and say, I mean, could you imagine though if something would have happened to some of their stuff in the museum,
Or if somebody fell
or something? Yeah, I mean,
Well, any of our locations, any
Yeah.
of them.
Right.
It's.
that's not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, some people falling down sometimes is pretty funny to watch. but and last night, I'll be honest, I was kind of waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
But it would have been on them.
Yeah.
It was not on me.
Right.
I'm just there to do the service. I'm not there to hold your hand.
Right,
Even though
yeah.
we were having to.
So how about in the other building at the end, the very end? I don't want to give out stuff.
There's one building that's not there anymore.
It's when you walk in and you go out there, everything's on your left, and then there's that one at the very, very end of the rectangular
You can say
opening.
what it is.
The church.
We had a camera in there. I don't think anybody went in there.
No. No one else ever has experiences in there. We'll get them out there one time.
Yeah, I took a group in there one time.
We did.
Had a little bit happen in there one time.
I think you were with me.
Yeah, I think wasn't it you
Yeah,
and me?
yeah.
Had a little bit, but last night it wasn't even. I mean, I put a camera over there just because, it's a church, so why not? And the fact that we did have a little bit of spirit box interaction there, but I really wanted to not take people over there.
Carl. Yeah, that would be fun. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
How about the anybody hang out in the saloon?
Not really. That's where all the alcohol was.
Yeah.
Try to avoid
And
It was loud and kind of obnoxious in there the whole time because people kept leaving groups to go in there and then go back to their group.
it had, Lena was set up in there doing readings all night. So,
Okay.
yeah. And she was there the whole time we were there. She didn't
Oh,
leave
she-
until we shut down.
Yeah,
so,
she was
doing
she
readings
had,
the whole time. So,
she had a
Good.
long list of people.
That's good.
Yeah, that was a good thing. We had to constantly radio in and say who's next, for that. So,
Yeah.
so she had a good turnout, I think, for that, which is good because she worked all day too. She was
Yeah.
there all day, and then today too.
Yeah.
she was working, so she had a lot going on. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and she was there for. I mean, we left probably 3-ish, almost 4. No, it was about 3 o'clock. we
yeah,
left.
it was
wow.
So it wasn't
pretty well
bad.
3 o'clock straight up.
Yeah.
Did you guys get a hotel room or just
No, we drove
went on
right
home?
straight back.
Yeah.
We drove straight back.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did.
Oh yeah.
That's why you
Uh,
got chicken. Okay, got you.
Oh yeah. We went and got some chicken. Had some chicks.
Where at?
Chester's.
You know that parking lot you drove around in circles? No?
Yeah, yeah, that
Oh,
one.
no.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. I do remember that.
We're
That's
asking you, what are you doing? I don't know.
I remember that.
Trying to find a way out.
Yeah.
I
So
remember that.
no, we had some chicken on the way
Wasn't there a bunch of semis driving around
Yeah.
us too?
Yeah.
So no, I was starving. I don't know why. I
We
was
had some
starving,
good
but
chicken too.
Yeah.
Pretty good chicken.
So
Yeah.
we did that. No, we got home.
5.
Yeah. Well, it was almost like
Yeah, I think it was just before 7 when
Had
I
to
pulled up
switch-
at the apartment. So.
yeah. I had to switch drivers there for a bit
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I was dying.
Mm.
I miss Kingman. I was like talking, I guess, and then I like just like went silent, and I'm back there like, and then I wake up and we're past Kingman. I'm like,
Glad you
where's
did
Kingman?
it.
I was like, hey, when's Kingman gonna go? And I see the sign, 16 miles to Wichita. I was like, oh, I didn't even know I zonked out like that. So
Yeah, I wanted to swing by and say hi, but yeah, it was about 1:00, 1:30 before we even started heading out. So
yeah. Well, you could have joined in on the fun
I
in
should
the
have.
in the
I
in
should have.
the
My wife was ready to get
in the groping and all that stuff. You could have joined in.
join in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tag me in.
They may have. I don't know. They may have wanted just your wife. I don't know.
Figures.
I'm sorry. That's just how the night went.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm just still boggled by it. So
Well,
on how stupid it was.
shit happens.
Yeah, I know.
Stupid people are stupid people, and we're not
Yeah.
going to change that. You can't fix stupid, not even with duct tape.
Yep.
So-
I tried it before.
Gorilla tape.
Oh.
It might.
Doubtful, but we can try. We can do an experiment next time.
Yeah,
There we go.
Can I be the one that rips it off?
One.
You pick where you want to place it, and I'll rip it off.
Right?
That's stupid.
Bottom of my foot. I'm good.
Oh man. So what time? So you want to take a break real quick?
Yeah, we
Then
can do
come
that.
Back? Okay. We'll
All
do
right.
that.
So we're going to take a break right quick. In the meantime, while we are taking our break, you guys take a moment to like and share and help us get the word out about this thing we're doing called Cryptic Heartland. And we will see you in a few minutes.
And I apologize for all my bitching.
And we are back. And
Do.
just in case you guys didn't do it while you were on break,
Oh my
Go
God,
ahead.
we're back again.
God. Just smack him. It's been too long.
Am I original? You were all
Just
supposed to go,
No.
yeah.
No.
Just in case you guys didn't do it while we were on break, go ahead and hit like and share and subscribe and everything you can. Help us get the word out about this thing called Cryptic Heartland. So,
Oh,
all right, now what?
well,
Well,
It's been a while. What is it?
yes. So, we need to like spice up on our cryptic, encrypted
cryptids.
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
Because we've got a lot of stuff coming up where we're going to be talking and actually being on the stage
Right.
talking about this
Right.
kind of stuff. So, cryptids, as in
tens of thousands.
not just Bigfoot either.
right.
You know, this is like, you know, mysterious creatures.
Chupacabras.
Yeah.
Shadow
What's your
people.
well?
Black-eyed children. Those are all cryptids, right? Ish.
No, well, it's
No,
more. It's
no,
more.
I know.
It's
I
more
know,
creatures.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you can.
Dog.
We could talk about them if you want. I know. I like them all too. No. So what is your thought about the chupacabra?
It's a hairless dog.
No.
Dog with mange.
No.
I don't know.
Well, the ones in Texas, yes.
The ones in Texas.
The ones that they keep showing on the news and everything. It's a hairless. It's a dog with mange, for God's sake.
Right. Yeah.
Come on, be smart. The ones down in Puerto Rico and all that stuff. Costa.
I'm not so sure. I mean,
Their
Guatemala.
descriptions of them is the fact that it's on two legs. It's about, well, not quite my height, but
Mhm.
it has scales, it has red eyes, claws, big teeth,
Right.
and it's killing their livestock.
Right.
They're pretty spooky looking.
Yeah.
Looking at them.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, that's the description of a chupacabra, but everyone keeps thinking that it's the one down in Texas.
the hairless
Right.
dog. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not. So,
Right.
Well,
You
Chihuahua,
know.
Chupacabra. It sound the same.
Chihuahua, yeah.
People think.
Well, no, Chihuahua would fit that. They're vicious
They're
little
vicious little
bastards.
turds, yeah.
Yeah, they'll. I don't know about sucking your blood out of you, but they'll bite you. And
Yeah,
eat your
they
fingers.
damn
and
sure
stuff.
try to.
But-
They'll bleed you dry through your ankles.
Yeah.
But nobody's caught one of these yet.
No, well, the hairless mange one, the mange dogs. They've
Yeah.
even got that in a museum.
Right.
It's, but it's a dog. It's
Yeah.
like a kite. It's nothing more than that.
Yeah.
But out in Puerto Rico and stuff, where the story originated from, it's totally different in description,
Right.
and all their descriptions are the same.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty consistent across the board, and even going across into more Central America,
Yeah,
you run into very very similar descriptions
Right.
of it. So it doesn't,
but
the whole mangy dog thing. It just
because it happened in Texas, they think that's it.
yeah, it happened in Texas, and they didn't recognize what it was right off, because I mean, who's gonna recognize a hairless dog right off, especially in such a rural area?
Right.
And yeah, the damn thing was creepy looking.
It was
you
creepy.
know?
It is. It is, and mange does look
Yeah,
creepy.
yeah.
I've seen that working in the vet for 10 years.
Mhm.
I saw a lot of dogs come in with that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah,
But I mean, so are the hairless cats. They're horrible looking.
yeah,
They're scary. You know.
yeah.
Dr. Evil can have one, but
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, that's all it is down
Mhm.
down in Texas, running
Right.
around what they're seeing and capturing
And it
on
was
video.
just they found that, and there was just like people do, people lost their head and started jumping to conclusions about what it was.
Yeah.
That's all that really amounted to at that point. So, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to think about the actual real
Stories and
chupacabra
everything.
lore,
Yeah.
because I mean, so you know, and like take some of the Native American stories, like the Thunderbird. I mean, that originated from somewhere, and I mean the descriptions that they have of it. You know, I don't think it was a California condor.
Right.
You know, but
Have you seen those?
No.
No.
big.
Huge, 11
Yeah.
feet wingspan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flying around. I mean, it looks like a monster. It looks
Yeah.
like it could like pick you up and take you out. You know.
Yeah.
Especially a child. You know, pick up a child and take off with you. You know.
Haven't caught one though.
Well, no, they've seen them. I mean, those things are the
Yeah,
condors are seen easily.
Wow.
Yeah,
everywhere.
I mean, they're highly endangered.
Yeah.
So they're not very common, but they didn't used to be that endangered. You know, so it wouldn't have been, you know, a far stretch for, you know, a lot of the Native Americans to have seen one, you know, back in the day. But, you know, when you have, I don't know, just the description of the Thunderbird through the various cultures and tribes, it's too consistent.
Right.
And the California condor's range, I don't think, was ever that large, to my knowledge, at least my understanding, which is pretty finite. But
What do you think about the stories of certain creatures that have been seen over the centuries by tribes to now today, and the descriptions, you know, remain the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Encounters always seem to kind of remain the same. They're not totally outlandish, or you know.
well, I mean, you've got you've got at some point you've got to sit down and give some credence to it somewhere.
Right.
Just simply because it's like that Facebook thing exchange that I shared with you yesterday on the way to Dodge City. You know, you've got. Unfortunately, we work in the field, and there is no laboratory controlled setting for what we
Right.
do. So you end up, it doesn't matter how elaborate our experiments and our research gets, it all boils down to anecdotal evidence, which is stories being told, basically.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, when you've got
Agreed.
the same story told in the Pacific Northwest versus, you know, the Midwest versus the East Coast versus the Himalayas versus Australia versus South America, all of these places that are so geographically separated, but it's the same story, just slightly different characteristics. Okay, and I'm talking about Bigfoot here, you know, because
Yeah,
that's the
Bigfoot,
classic
yeah,
example.
yeah.
You know, you got you've got the swamp ape in Florida, which is a little bit smaller, with a longer, darker coat, versus the wild man of the Pacific Northwest, who is you know, a little bit larger and a little bit more red, you know, versus the Yeti, which has a grayer or a more white tinge to its coat. You know, small defining characteristics like that are a little bit different, but the behavior and the general description and all of that is the same across all of these cultures over centuries of time, you know, in geographically diverse areas. I mean, there's something to that somewhere. There has to be.
Right.
You know, that's my thoughts for what it's worth, but
No, it makes sense. You have to. You have to. I
Well,
mean,
yeah, you know, you get people talking about it, and that's something, you know, that kind of baffles me. You know, everybody, Bigfoot, don't exist. Well, why? They have a black one over here. They say this one's brown. They got a white one over it. It's a Yeti. This one's got red hair. But you know what? Dude's got black hair. He's got brown hair.
right.
You have no hair.
I have no
Right.
hair. Man, it's just the genes, man. These guys are all the same family.
Mange.
I got mange. Is what I got.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
You got two breeds like that here today.
I'm just saying. But, you know, it's just crazy. But
No,
like the chupacabra.
that's true. That's true.
It's true. You
It's
know?
true. It's different.
It's a
different.
genetic thing.
But see, over in like the Appalachian Mountains and stuff like that, the Himalayas and stuff like Appalachian Mountains. Jesus,
Yeah.
the Himalayas. It's not even a white Sasquatch that's over there. You know, they're seeing all the reports are dark and stuff like that,
Dark and
black.
red,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, video footage too. The descriptions, it's all dark. You know, brown or black colored
Okay.
hair and stuff like
Well,
that.
There's reports of one. Oh, I know what it is that I was thinking of. There was that semi-local sighting in Sumner County,
Right
of
down off the turnpike.
of
Yeah.
a lighter colored,
It
lighter
was-
hair, and they think it was a juvenile.
It was about my height. It was like up against the fence. It was like digging in the dirt because they pulled off the turnpike. They were went under the bridge because he had something wrong with his tire or what's I think how the story went. His buddies pulled up behind him. He got out to check his car. When he looked over, thinking it was just a trash bag,
Right.
you know, he finally like noticed that it, you know, the movement that it had, so that when he turned and kind of really focused on it, the creature stood up on two legs, looked at him, was shocked as well. He even drew a description of it on the BFRO,
Right.
and then it like backs up and is backing all the way up against the fence and scared of him. He takes off running. It takes off running, but he said it was white because he's screaming at his friends that there's a Yeti right there.
Right.
You know, and you know, I mean, the colors are everywhere, just like we are.
Right.
You know,
Right.
for God's sake. Again, stop being stupid. You know,
Well, just
and-
see, and that's the thing. If you think about too, you know, the chupacabra could be. I mean, smaller. It does walk on twos, runs on fours.
yeah.
Again,
Who's to say it's not a creature that?
who's to say it's
All-
not a skinwalker?
Well,
Well, you know, skinwalkers,
Yeah.
they look the same, ish, but bigger, and sometimes are skeletal and kind of weird looking. But I mean, they do remind you of the same creature, just
Right.
just different origins of the country,
Right.
the world. You know, crazy.
But then, so you have stories like this with a lot of eyewitness accounts and everything. But then you have those stories, and we talked a little bit about this, you know, and it's stories of creatures that don't exist, but yet they've become such a pulp culture thing, you know.
Slender Man.
Well, you got Slender Man, but it's more like the rake.
Oh, the rake. Yeah,
Yeah.
now everybody's
Yeah, now they're saying they're seeing that everywhere, where it's like a completely hairless man monster figure thing that's like crawling. It has legs, has arms, is very muscular and stuff like that. That's freaky. That's like, wow, what the hell is that?
Skinwalker.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay, I gotta try to find a picture to throw up here now then.
So the rake. If you could find a picture of the rake and throw that up there for everybody, that would.
They just had one on that show that I watch, Paranormal Call and Take.
Yes, they did. They talked about that.
Skinwalker or a rake.
But it's just it's a story that came up,
It was an internet created.
right, and since then people are now saying they're seeing it.
Yes.
So is it getting into people's minds with
what is it now?
Rake.
R-A-
Is it R-E-I-K or R-A-I-K?
I thought it was R-A-K-E.
Oh, it might be.
Haha, I'm gonna have to check it out. But yeah, they recently found it or showed it on that.
Yeah. And it was kind of freaky looking, but really, is it for real? Was it? It looked like a giant pit bull to me with an attitude. Yeah, I don't know. You look at that
But-
skinwalker. Some crazy stuff, right?
No, that thing.
No, yeah, he's looking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the rake.
That's a rake.
That's the rake.
Oh, okay, that
That
thing.
white thing.
Yeah.
People are supposedly capturing this and seeing it on.
Yeah, that almost looks similar to the Skinwalker, actually.
Yeah, it
Kind of sort of like a skinwalker, but not, Skinwalker more of a.
But the rake is being seen like supposedly in video footage of people out in the woods camping. They're panning over, looking at it. You know, everyone having a good time and all this, and then they don't see the creature over in the bush at the time
Staring at
until
it.
they see it later on. But you know,
Well, I mean, this picture that I'm about to put up here, it's kind of it's one of the more famous pictures, I believe. But the first time I saw this, they reported that it was caught on a trail cam.
yes.
So,
But
I mean,
then they've shown video footage of it like creeping up on some people that are out camping.
right.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that was the one that was on Paranormal Caught on Camera.
Well, this one here, that one there, he heard something behind the house. He opened the gate up, and this thing started running at him real heavy.
Really?
Yeah, that was
I missed
crazy.
that one.
Yeah, it's.
That yeah.
What's up, Melody? How you doing out there, Mr. Phoenix? Or I'm sorry. Yeah. Tempe, Arizona. My bad. Enjoying it out there?
But you know, I mean, it's internet sensations and stuff like that. You know, that also create problems in the whole cryptid.
Right.
You know, stuff that I don't know, because a lot of cryptic animals and stuff are like, well, you know, everyone thinks of
There it
Bigfoot or
is.
Loch Ness or something like that, but no one thinks about, you know, like the like the animals that are like look like half zebra, half half giraffe or something like that.
Right.
And that's a picture of the rake that Jeremiah's popped up. You know, I am pretty sure it doesn't exist. You know, it was a story that came out. It could be easily done with computer graphics and all that, you know. But supposedly this creature was caught on by a trail cam. Just happened to, you know, see the trail cam and stare at it and
Right.
everything. But, you know.
Posed perfectly for it, right
Posed
there.
perfectly, you know.
Well, he's walking up on the camera like,
You know, and it is creepy. It is creepy,
and creepy.
but again, it looks like just like a person that's really like a zombie with no hair whatsoever and,
Yeah.
and no clothes, just crawling on the ground. And
It almost looks alien-like. I mean, you know, some of the more vivid, horrific descriptions of some of the
A
aliens.
crazy alien, yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, you got the gray aliens, or even like other species that they say that look like that. They're larger, more muscular, and yeah.
Wow,
I mean,
what show
some
did I
people
just watch.
some people say abductions have
even
happened.
like subterranean, like something that would crawl out of a cave system somewhere.
Yeah, haven't seen the sun in a long time. They
Uh-huh.
pretty much stay underground. Yeah,
With that type of eye shine.
could be.
What was that Mel Gibson show that just came? Oh, well, it's been out for a while.
What's that?
The alien show with Mel Gibson on it.
Signs.
Signs.
Oh yeah.
Kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just throw some water on it.
Throw some water in it. We'll be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we you know, we got a lot to talk about when it comes to the cryptic animals and everything like
Yeah.
that. There's books out there that, you know, I have one that's like A to Z of all cryptic animals that are been out there, and plus the researchers that have spent their
Right.
lifetime trying to see it. But
Right.
you know, gorillas were one time cryptic.
Yeah.
No one believed
Yeah.
that those actually existed. I think what was it? Not till the 30s.
I
think
don't know. Something like
because
that,
the
yeah.
white man finally sees it.
Yeah. Right.
We finally see it, but the villagers all saw these creatures living up in the forest and stuff, out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then now that we all claim to see it, you know, and now they're part of life.
Right.
But you know, gorillas. I mean, we find new species all the time. So
I think a sloth looks kind of cryptid to me. That thing's got freaking claws for hands.
well, you got the. And what about the
Hello, Cindy.
Montauk?
The Montauk Monster.
Montauk.
Yeah.
Montauk monster.
Didn't that end up being a raccoon or
But
a partially decomposed raccoon?
Oh, I don't know, man. That thing was huge for.
but did you?
raccoon.
Okay, so it had like almost like the claw hands of a sloth,
Sloth,
but
yeah.
it had like the beak of like a raccoon or a koala. Not a koala, but like not a raccoon. No, it had like a beak to it. I mean, you can find it easily on.
So are the
internet.
sloths
Yeah.
always that slow?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh,
yeah.
didn't they have one on the news the other day where a
Yeah,
family
He was stuck in the middle of the road
yeah
trying to
picked
cross
it
the road.
up and then it kind of turned out and
yeah.
put his hand out to say thanks or
Thanks.
whatever. And
Yeah,
then,
they
yeah,
put him over. Yeah.
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 But see, they say that there's even like giant sloths at one time
Yeah.
too.
I
Yeah.
can probably see that.
Yeah. So I mean, there's all kinds of animals that we keep, But I also watched a video of people who are complete conspiracy theorists, who,
Right. Right.
who try to throw out their weight, not to bring up, like flat earthers and bullshit like that. But one guy was out, saying how it's a big conspiracy that all the dinosaurs are fake and everything we have in bones, that's just plaster that we've put together.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no evidence of it, and I'm like, okay. And again, that's another idiot that's it making discoveries hard,
Yeah.
doing actual research, and people who do spend their lifetime investigating and searching for this stuff, it makes it hard for them to actually prove that this is real. You got to trust me, because you have idiots like that. We didn't land on the moon, the earth is flat, dinosaurs didn't exist, and aliens are reptilian shapeshifters that are the only explanation of why that is because, well, if they can travel this far, they have to be shapeshifters. Okay.
What?
Yeah,
The
I
hell
watched
does
a
that
bit.
have to do
Yeah,
with the price of tea in China.
I don't know. I don't know. I keep watching these stupid videos of conspiracy
Why
theories
is
and
my
stuff like
mic
that.
not working?
I know we've been to the moon. They got a space station up there now. That's on the backside of the moon. Have you seen that one yet? They got this whole planetarium built up there. We got missiles on the backside waiting for the aliens. Oh yeah, it's there.
Well, the Transformers
Actually,
have
it
been
was
up there.
it's Trump's other son owns it.
Oh.
I seen it on Facebook. It's true.
So what's your thoughts? When we go to this event here before too long, it's probably going to come.
Faster.
right down
the street.
Yeah, faster.
What are your
I
thoughts?
have a picture of the Montauk Monster
Okay.
up
Oh, let's
now
check it
by
out.
the
Okay,
lake.
then get
Yeah,
back to that.
yeah, yeah.
Get back to that. Yeah. This thing is.
I mean, it's definitely creepy looking. It
Look at that.
it
Look at
doesn't look like
Look at
a
that.
raccoon or anything like that, but
Okay,
its face it's swollen and it's partially decomposed or eaten away, something like that.
it
It is male.
Oh my God! You go straight there.
But yeah, so it could.
Wow, that
who
thing's
knows?
ugly.
I think and there was two that was later found because they found that one, and I think not
Right.
long after there's another one that was found in the same condition.
Right.
So it just
And
looks
there-
like a
there-
lot of
there-
inbreeding of animals going on out
There's
there.
a-
Is
Could be.
There was something. There was something to do with
Man, bear,
some
pig.
sort of. They speculate. I mean, this is. This is getting back over into the conspiracy theory side of it, but there was speculation
Yeah, it
of a some sort of like a secret experimental laboratory or something near there or something like that, wasn't there?
You doing okay over there?
Yeah, I'm doing
what
fine.
was
I'm
your
just trying to
question
figure
again?
out why
Sorry.
the hell my mic's not working.
What did you say? Sorry.
Isn't there a wasn't there some sort of conspiracy theory about like a secret laboratory or something where they were doing secret experiments on animals near where these things washed up?
Well, I mean, I did see it on South Park, and a lot of that's been coming true. So.
Well, South Park and The Simpsons. You know?
Simpsons, yeah.
I know on Seinfeld, you know, Kramer saw a pig man, but I can't remember. I'm sure they are doing experimental stuff like that.
Well, yeah.
But
it seemed, I'll have to look for it.
it
right
almost,
quick and
you
see
know,
what
the
I can
monster.
find.
It even has like a vampire bat type face, almost like with
Right,
the ears and all
right,
that
yeah.
stuff. But I don't know.
Crossing DNA with a bat and a pit bull and a sloth. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Weird.
But I think that there's another picture of one too. I think the second one has more defined beak to it.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
is weird.
Yeah.
Which is very weird. But, you know, and no one knows what the hell that is, or if it was it deemed fake? Did they even say what it was? I can't remember if they said what came of that. Because they have two bodies.
And they
Yeah,
actually took him in.
I'm going to put up a picture of the second one right quick.
Oh,
Okay.
boy, here we go.
Yeah. They are
Or
kind of
the
graphic
first one.
photos.
I don't remember which one was first and which one was second, but this one is the one that you were talking about with the more defined beak.
Okay.
How damn it, not that.
Don't be putting up bad things now.
Right. But it's I don't know. This one always kind of fascinated me.
The one with the beak.
Just the Montauk Monster in general.
Yeah.
Because I've heard a lot of different things surrounding it. There it is. I'm 90% sure there was some speculation about some sort of a
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
like
Yeah, you see
Yeah, I've
that.
seen that.
See,
I just
again, it has like weird limbs, but that defined beak is just very
right.
I don't know.
That's a cross between a mole, a rat, and a.
Could be,
Yeah, that's nasty.
but
Let's
and
see,
again, it
so-
could just be a creature that is known, but it has mange, and that's what it looks like.
Right.
Hairless.
Right. So this is okay. This is Wikipedia, so take it with a grain of salt. But this is kind of this is under the heading of identifications in the Wikipedia article about the Montauk Monster. It says, initial media reports included speculation that the Montauk Monster might have been a turtle without its shell, although turtle shells are fused with the spine and cannot be removed in this way. It could have been a dog, a large rodent, or a science experiment from a nearby government animal testing facility, the Plum Island Animal Disease Center.
Right.
William Wise, director of the Stony Brook University Living Marine Resources Institute, inspected the photo along with a colleague. They deemed the creature a fake, although Wise's next best guess was that the creature could be a diseased dog or coyote which had been in the sea for a while. Wise discounted the following general possibilities. Excuse me. A raccoon, the legs appear to be too long in proportion to the body. Sea turtle, the sea turtles do not have fur or teeth. Rodents have two large distinctive incisor teeth in front of their mouths, not the canine teeth that one has. Dog or other canines such as a coyote, the corpse is dog-like, but the eye ridge and feet do not match.
Right.
Sheep or other ovine, although the face looks somewhat ovine, sheep do not have sharp teeth. Paleozoologist Darren Nash studied the photograph and concluded the corpse's visible dentition, skull shape, and front paw, the creature was a raccoon, with its odd appearance merely a byproduct of decomposition and water action removing most of the animal's hair and face. Nash disagreed with the idea that the legs were disproportionately long for a raccoon, providing an illustration of a raccoon's body superimposed over the corpse in the photograph. Jeff Corwin also identified it as a raccoon. I,
How are they
What?
identifying that as a raccoon?
I don't know.
Because a raccoon has a cute little black nose and all
Right.
that, not a freaking beak.
Right. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I mean, because that.
Yeah, that's not. Now, what were you going to ask about the upcoming?
Well, a lot of the stuff that, I remember when we last talked to her, they're really wanting us to focus on, is the paranormal part
You're
of.
talking about North Carolina?
Yeah, North Carolina, is the.
Now we got music with the show now.
That is.
You talking about the North Carolina Bigfoot Festival?
Yeah, because a lot. I think what they're doing right now is they're trying to. It seems like everything's starting to push towards it's paranormal, because now they're starting to see, like some of the stuff I've read here in the last a couple months with sightings is, like in Utah, is they're seeing lights up
Right.
above as well.
Right.
So I know they're kind of wanting us to focus a little bit on that side of things, because they want, with us being a paranormal team,
Right.
and you guys having the experience of going out bigfooting and starting to maybe realize, was this part paranormal? I think they're really looking at us focusing on some of that. Is it possible that, because I know when I talk to her on the phone, they talk about up there that everything you see is blurry. Everything you try to catch on film is blurry. All of a sudden they
Well,
disappear.
yeah.
The green lights.
I think
that
because a
they're
lot of
seeing.
the reason why the films. Yeah, we've got music playing and jamming up there above us here. I'm sorry, guys.
Good music though.
But it's for all the videos, for all the camera, pictures, it's bullcrap, because they're faking most of the stuff that's happening. All those photographs and videos. Cell phones today, why is it blurry?
Right.
Because
Right.
Why are you-
My cell phone has
Yeah.
has the camera in my cell phone has greater resolution than the camera in my $1,000 DSLR.
Yeah.
It really does. Of course. That's 6 months old versus 5 years old,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
still,
What's that?
Go turn it down.
Okay.
The guys at work are playing music through that.
Oh, nice.
They're at work playing that. That's awesome. They're having fun over at Bob Luigi's there. But I don't know. The whole idea of all this footage and the photographs, the videos, and all the fakery of all that crap is what is also dragging this all down. And you're not gonna see that much video footage. Not many people are gonna be legitimately, ready to go with their camera
Right.
and being out in the woods and see it, and there you go.
Right.
You got the Dave Freeman film. It kind of ranks up there with the Patterson Gimlin film.
Right.
But the Freeman film is different. He'd been seeing the footprints and the activity out there for like days or weeks. He'd been ready and prepared. That morning he ran across some more tracks, so he went back and got his camera, started filming, and he started filming the tracks themselves. He knew that there's been activity about this out in that area, and he'd been tracking this for a while and just trying to keep notice of it.
Right.
That's when he happened to walk up on one, because the tracks were fresh. He knew it. He was already running his camera, and then he looked up, and there it was. A lot of people don't believe it's real, but I've listened to Brendan talk about it enough to realize, in the whole storyline of it, that's probably the most legitimate, film next to the Patterson film. But all this other stuff, no. You can pretty much, I could tell you it's pretty much fake of what people
Right.
are capturing. Did you see that recent one over on Paranormal Con on camera. The guy who's doing the interview, he's got a hoodie on, and he's talking into the camera because they've got to do everything on the through, Skyping,
Yes.
all that stuff. So he's got a his hoodie on, and why he's doing that, I don't know. It just makes me think, okay, you're just trying to be goofy.
Right.
But the video footage is them on a cell phone, which the cell phone is not of any good quality whatsoever. And you hear him on the camera going, I'm getting such great quality footage of this. And it's not. It's so blurry. But in the field, you see what looks like a Sasquatch walking along in the field.
Right.
And it's just walking, it's straight up. Its arms are, it looks like a person in a suit trying to be cocky and be huge walking through a field. And then the second footage, they caught it again a few weeks later. It's like hunkering down in the field. It's looking out, and then it starts walking again, and then it's just walking. And so the people that are there, you saw this, right?
Yeah.
So they start hollering at it, going, "Hey, you, hey!" And then it just like. They've even got flashlights shining on it and stuff like that. It's walking along, and then all of a sudden it just like turns and starts walking toward them, and they all scream. They're running. Oh my God! Well, you asked for it, but just that simple salute. That it's fake. You
Yeah.
can tell it's fake. And
Right,
why would it
right.
just be walking along when it's known for generations of being something that is hiding?
Right.
And the people who have stories, it's always hiding. It's always either watching you or you're not even paying attention to it.
And see, the bad part about it, there's two of them. I mean, video and that.
Yeah.
That's $1 million footage. Give up your buddy. Let him die. Get the footage.
I know who I'm not going Sasquatch hunting with now.
Right?
Dan's gonna push one of us down and then take off right
$1 million, man. I'm just joking.
It would be. It would be. You remember that, Dan?
there.
I do remember.
When we pushed you down. And we all know. We all know.
Footage.
Well,
I'll
hey.
take till the end.
Well, we already said what we're doing in North Carolina. We're taping Roth to the tree, spraying him with the Bigfoot juice.
What?
Yep.
And yeah.
We all-
You don't remember
we
that
all voted.
conversation?
We've
You
had
don't
that conversation multiple times.
We even I think we even talked about it with Allie on.
Allie's got more.
Yeah,
Oh, great.
she's got more.
Great.
Yeah. but no, all that footage is just it's just
Terrible.
come on. If
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
why would you be out there at the field screaming at it and going, "Hey,"
Right.
And the moment it turned to kind of like walk towards you,
They got running.
you take off
shit,
running
let
like
him.
a bunch of babies, like little kids running and screaming.
Right.
Thing 100 yards out. That's not going to get you.
I-
Yeah, maybe.
Come on, you're standing there watching it, and why are you even hollering at it
Right.
if you're gonna run?
It could spook you. You never know until you're in those situations, though.
But
What you're going to do.
I mean, we were practically in that situation,
Uh-huh.
and what do? We took off running toward it.
Right.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's the difference between those who are wanting to have that moment and find the answers to those who are just wanting to make a quick buck, 15 minutes of fame,
Right.
and all that,
Yeah.
which really hurts the field.
Yeah.
It really does. It really just destroys it. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
But if people wouldn't allow it to post, then you wouldn't have all that beef.
But it makes
Yeah,
great
you
for
know.
media.
But
It makes
yeah.
it great.
That's how they make their money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
so,
true. Very
yeah.
true. Very true.
It's all about this. The whole social media game is all about hype and drama and
Yeah.
getting the likes and clicks.
Very true.
Click-throughs and
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
YouTube sends you that contract, you're cha-ching.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
about money.
Yeah. Very true. It sucks, but next time Jake's on here, he's been doing some research on
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
Has he?
He's determined to go in that direction and do some studying, but he's like he's got an idea that he's like, you've never thought of this. He's like, I wait till the next podcast that I'm at.
Okay.
He's like, I've got a whole new take and direction with this. And
Cool.
I'm like, all right, I'm game for that. I'm
Cool.
game for that. He was gonna tell me earlier this morning when we were all packing up and leaving
Yeah.
and everything, but I was like, keep it for the show.
Doggone it.
I know.
I
I know.
didn't take Bigfoot. It's taken so many
He
places.
kind of mentioned a couple things, and I had to stop him. I'm like, no, keep it for the show. Because I'm like, that could be good, but
Who was it that sent that GIF to me the other day that said why the Sasquatch footprints
oh yeah, I
have
did.
slowed down a lot, and it showed him riding deer?
He was right.
Yeah.
Well, he was
I
riding.
was like, yeah.
He was riding a mountain
A
lion.
mountain
Yeah.
lion. That's
Riding a
what it
mountain
was.
lion, and
I
he's
was
just like doing it
laughing.
like a rodeo,
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's awesome.
But the thing is the footprints are more prominent than people
Yeah.
understand. Because just being out with Brendan, and my own dad was out there with us, and seeing the footprints, no one was out there. No, there's people camping, a whole nother section and all that. But here we are walking down toward a kind of a quieter area and down by the river and a stream area and the embankment. There's footprints coming up out of there,
Right.
barefoot, huge footprints, and you could see the stride of it. And Brendan couldn't even make the stride. We're all four looking at this and studying it for the longest time.
Right,
Taking
right.
photographs, doing all this, and no one would have seen it. We just happened to stumble across it in very faint dirt.
Yeah.
Very faint dirt. You could drive by there so many times and everything, and just
Yeah.
Never think to look over.
never think to look over.
Yeah.
We went into a field that, I don't know what kind of field it was out there by the river. I think at one time it was, flooded by overspill. Some tall grass that has been kind of dried out and dead out there. We're walking, the ground's soft, of course, but we're out there hiking along it, and all of a sudden we find imprints of huge feet that are out
Right.
there. We marked it, we cast it, and everything out there. Nobody out there camping or hunting or anything would have gone out there
Right.
and been looking for that.
Right.
And even if you are hunting, you're not hunting for those signs. You're not hunting for that. You're out hunting for quail, deer, turkey, something like that, duck.
Right.
You're not looking for the telltale signs of that, Yes,
It's one of those things you really just about have to be looking for it specifically to find it.
right. And if you know nothing about it,
Mhm.
you're not going to look at it.
Right.
You're just going to see that and say, oh, it's an indention. Especially...
I just some of the ones that we found out on the place out in Tahlequah that to my knowledge we never found anything that was castable out there, but we did find some prints.
Right.
That I know one in particular. I have. Pictures just don't do them justice, but I have the print marked out, and I can't remember what I used, but I had something laying beside it for scale for both length and width, and it was 16, 17 inches long from the tip of the great toe to the back of the heel, and it was almost 6 inches wide at the ball of the foot. Wow. So yeah, huge.
Yeah, there's
Bigfoot.
nothing out there that would have that,
Well, it had 5 distinct toe prints.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember seeing the one personally,
Yeah. So-
and
It can't be just, and it's not a bear, because a bear has a very distinct footprint
Right.
itself, and it's
Right.
short and stubby. It's fat
Right.
and it has claws that are like ginormous.
Right.
This
Yeah.
looks like a human
and usually with the bear
footprint.
prints, you see the claws, you see the claw marks that
Yeah.
go into the
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the ground.
You know, go to the zoo. They have an imprint of that up on the wall. You know,
Right.
of a bear footprint. You know, it looks nothing like they show.
Right.
And,
You know, the one casting that I've always found really interesting is it's one of the more famous castings, but it looks like it's from a print that was made by an injured foot.
Yeah.
It had the great toe, I think,
Yeah.
sticking kind of out to the side.
it was
Like
either arthritis or a broken toe or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's things like that, and things like in the Patterson footage. If you study that footage really close, that creature appears to have an abscess on one of its legs. Because there's
Yeah.
there's this mass
That bulges out with
Yeah.
every step in
Yeah.
the leg. I saw that.
Who fakes stuff? Who thinks about stuff like that when you're faking it?
Right.
You know?
They said they had Hollywood makeup artists that said, you know, go back to that era of the Patterson film.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anybody around at that time and era that could make and create a costume like that to scale of how big it was and everything like that? And they're
Right.
like, no. And the fact that it was female, you could tell it was female.
Right.
Had an injury in its leg right there.
Mm-hmm.
Every time it stepped, you could see the bulge of that injury.
Mm-hmm.
And the size and how it walked, it didn't match up. And the fact that the head wouldn't even be in the mask or in the body of
Right.
a normal human,
Right.
you know, it just didn't match up.
Right.
And the fact that it turned and looked
Mhm.
perfectly, you know, like a neck. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've all watched Star Wars. I mean, Chewbacca. I mean, that
But he's stiff.
they were trying to make it look realistic, and you can't. Even
No, you can't.
12 years later, they couldn't make it look realistic.
They have to cover his whole hand so you don't even see the hands. You
Right.
know, it's all fur.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and he's like so stiff that they can't make it realistic unless
Yeah.
it's all CG. But you know,
Right.
back when the Patterson film happened, we
Well,
all
CG.
know that never happened. There was nothing like that.
Yeah,
Right.
8mm. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know. But I just hate that statement of people saying, "Well, I've been hunting my whole life. I've never seen anything like that, so it's fake."
Right.
That's a cop out. You're not looking for it.
Mhm.
And you're going to hunting areas. You're going to places that are known to having, you know, you go to the same area. It doesn't mean that just because it's the woods, it's going to be there.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of isolated places.
Mhm.
You know, creatures like that are going to migrate and go where there's food.
Well, we've been fishing for hundreds and, well, thousands of years, and they still find new breeds of fish.
Mhm.
Oh, that creeps me
Constantly.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, I mean,
and
come
some
on.
Creeps me
that,
out.
and they find some that they thought was extinct. I mean, take the coelacanth. I mean, they thought it was extinct.
Yeah.
You know, so if you can find okay, I know this is kind of apples and oranges, but if you can find a fish that was thought to go extinct 500,000 years ago or whatever, why is it so far fetched that a Gigantopithecus could be still roaming around somewhere unseen? You know,
Right.
if you want to go at it from that route, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the Gigantopithecus, for those that don't know, is a prehistoric giant ape that some speculate may have been bipedal.
Right. They
So-
have. I think they have partial skulls
Hmm.
or a skull and some teeth and stuff like that. But I mean, if there was one, there has to be more than one.
Right, right,
You know, came from somewhere.
right.
Unless it came from, you know,
Well, you know,
it's
there is that.
all aliens. You know.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it could be. I'm not saying it is, but it could be.
Right, right.
You know, I like to try, in my own personal opinion, I like to try and separate all that, but, you
Right.
know, I mean, you can go with the fact that there's UFO sightings along with Bigfoot, but you can also go with the fact that there's UFOs sightings with humans.
Uh-huh.
So, you know,
Yeah.
it all goes hand in hand.
Right,
It
right.
doesn't mean because there's a UFO, that's because of Bigfoot, or
Right.
because of Bigfoot there's UFOs.
Right.
UFO sightings happen around people too, humans.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
you know, I that's why I can't go with that solution that every time that there's a UFO, Bigfoot's around too.
Mhm.
Well, if you're seeing Bigfoot and you see the UFO, well, you're there too.
Right.
You're there
exactly.
too.
Exactly.
Maybe the
only-
UFO
no,
is looking
no.
after you.
The only thing that makes me kind of wonder and puts my jury out about that is that there's a lot of reports of various different like electronic interferences and stuff like that with Bigfoot sightings.
See, and I haven't read anything like that.
I just got done reading while we were sitting here that that stuff starts occurring.
Yeah.
See, and I
you know,
haven't.
Now it's not with every sighting,
Yeah.
not by a long shot, but it enough to make you wonder.
Yeah, because
Well,
they say that
what if
the-
Sasquatch is just that more in tuned with what's going on around their site, you know, and
Yeah.
then they happen to come about curious of what's being up in the sky too,
Right.
and you just happen to be there and having that experience, and you're just trying to connect the two.
You know, well, we spend 90% of our lives looking down at our phone. You know, where
Nowadays,
it's, you know,
yeah.
something that is still prehistoric like that almost is going to be. They're going to be relying on their instinct and their awareness of their surroundings. So of course they're going to be looking up more and out and around. So they're going to see more than we probably would. So I mean, it's
What if
it's not a far shot from it,
What if Bigfoot's just trying to go and tag you in and say, "I'm not getting probed tonight. It's your turn."
right?
You know. Just saying.
Yeah.
You know.
You never know.
true.
You never know.
But
That's horrible. Yeah,
he could just be running up to you and be like, "You're it.
Tag.
I'm out."
You know, here's the thing that's interesting to me is, okay, so like reading up on some of the Bigfoot stuff, depending on how far you do your research, there's always those people that say campsites were torn to pieces, this and that. Okay,
Yeah.
so but if you know, and I'm not a big hunter, but you know, you always hear about bears attacking somebody.
Yeah.
If you get close, if they see you, they're usually coming at you.
They rummage
Okay.
through camps
When
too
you
sometimes,
start
yeah.
hearing of people that see a Bigfoot, they run from you. Okay, so that seems odd too. Is like, okay, if this creature is that big, he's got that blood in him, that part of him, possibly a bear. You know what I'm saying? Why are these things not coming at? Why are they always running from people?
Actually,
You know, there's a
I-
few that they say that
have
killed
charged
or
out,
have charged,
yeah.
but you don't know. That's the part that gets me. Is it like you see somebody that
Yeah.
says, "Hey," you know, and it comes running, then they run away. Okay, but why don't we hear more of these sightings? Because normally, if I'm looking around and I see a bear, that thing's probably you know, and it's on you.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, lost 411.
there.
Um,
You know, it just seems odd that these things have no mean bone to their body. You know what I'm saying? With all these sightings, these pictures.
They like, you know, from some of the researchers that Brendan has talked to me about. Most of the time, they travel in packs. You know, there's more than one of them. But if one of them is by themselves and happen to run across you, they'll duck into cover. What you're not seeing is that the fact that there's probably 2 or 3 more
So-
behind you, possibly.
You have a story about something very similar to that
Yeah.
that you got from.
So-
yeah.
For my own personal story.
Yes.
Yes, so in an area that I actually just recently went to, we just recently went camping to. Went off. This is many years ago. Went there and start hiking on the trail back, and this is the kind of the tail end tip of the Mark Twain National Forest. It's out in Missouri, where there's a lot of sightings out there. I didn't see a creature. Never saw anything like that. Never heard any growling. Never heard it. There could have been yelps or knocks. Didn't pay attention because when we went on the trail and hiked and went to the natural tunnel that's there, saw that, came back, started way too late. It's about a 2-hour hike. one way, and then you have to hike 2 hours back.
Right.
Had no flashlight. And we were doing our best to follow the trail. It was already starting to get dark. We were kind of panicking a little bit, but we're just walking along, making sure we're following the path the way we remembered it, being there the very first time ever. And as we're walking, I'm noticing and hearing a sound off to my left up on the ridge in the tree line. And it sounds like something, what sounds like bipedal, walking along and crushing through the bush.
Like it's tracking.
I purposely stopped to tie my shoe a few times just to see if I can hear it better, you know. And every time we stopped, you know, a few more steps would happen, then it would stop. We'd start walking, and then as we were walking, it started. You could tell that there was more sounds of something following. So finally, I was like, "Do you hear this?" They're like, "Absolutely, I hear that. I've been listening to it for the last half hour." You know, as we're walking, so we take off running, and this sound, you know, and we're not crashing through stuff. It's not a reflection of our noise or anything. We're just walking on a dirt trail.
Right.
This is crashing through bush, following us as
Right.
fast as we're running. It is chasing. Okay, it's not a cat because, you know,
Right.
that thing would have just like doubled down and jumped us.
Right. Yeah.
This was like tracking us
Well,
and
it
following.
does, so if it was a cat, it would have ran you down as soon as you started running.
Exactly.
The cat's predatory instinct.
Yes, and that was free game for them. That was like their call to like it's time for dinner.
Right.
But this thing was like crashing through the bush as if you could hear it running on two legs.
Uh-huh.
And it was amazing, but yet frightening at the same time.
Right.
I had nothing on me, you know. Had my old flip phone Cricket phone, you know. A lot of good that was going to do me out there, you know. Couldn't
Right.
do anything like that. Yeah, it was a while back, you know. So I'm running through that, you know, and make it back to the Jeep, get in. I'm looking. I'm waiting for this to like just come to the trailhead. Nothing. Nothing's there.
Right.
Then I find out through Brendan when he kind of made a connection with the Mid-America Bigfoot Research Society.
Uh-huh.
They kind of reached out to him and saying, "Hey, can we make Bigfoot in Kansas part of the territory out here? So that way, if we have any sightings, we can call you and do that." They said that where I have been going camping for many years, that is a prime area of sightings. That they come up in the camps, they'll steal food, they'll get stuff out of your camps and stuff like that, because it's a pretty isolated campground. It's
Right.
amazing out there. I love going there.
Right.
But
There's yeah.
I mean, there's so many, and the researchers themselves said that you have to, when you're going out hiking in that area, you have to look for the certain trails that are like everything's broken off way up high. And they said they have actually at one point actually walked up on one on the trail,
Wow.
startled it as it startled them too, and they weren't ready for that.
Right.
They didn't have cameras, they didn't have everything ready,
Right.
you know. But they
Yeah.
walked up on one. It took off running, and they took off running
Yeah.
because they freaked out. They were like, "Oh,
yeah.
shit!"
Yeah.
they-
I
you know,
mean,
there it
if
is.
I walked up on a 9-foot tall ape, I would run too.
Yeah.
Most likely, if it took me by surprise enough.
Or Dan would just push you down.
Well, there is that. There is that. So,
Yeah.
So,
don't walk
there were-
with Dan.
Dan's like, "You're up."
there was another story that you told me before, and there may be details of this one that you can't share on the
Sure.
stream.
Yeah.
But there about an interview that you did with someone who
Oh, from the case.
was kind of tag teamed like that by a river.
Yes. Well, I brought it up to him, this scenario. So what it was down in, you know, we're over time, but this is fun. And people are still watching, so it's all
Right,
good.
right.
So I think I've talked about it. I don't know if I talked about it on the show or not, but Went to interview a whole family. The whole town has been seeing these things for decades. Since so most of them are from childhood. Well, anyway, husband and wife, they were going down to the river. They were going to have like a picnic and everything. But to get down there to the river, they had to go through a whole bunch of tall grass and all that. So
Right.
she goes first. He's just still up there gathering everything out of the van. This is daylight, you know, and excuse you.
It was the sheriff.
No, so she goes down there and she makes it to the river, and she's trying to pick a spot and everything. And about the time she goes to put the blanket down, she hears this loud scream and everything, just like right there in her face, or it was behind her, screaming. She falls to the ground and covers her face, but she looks over at the river just in time to see on the other side of the river a Bigfoot, a bipedal, very large, hairy
Wow.
creature running off into the woods. And she goes, "That thing jumped the river." And I thought, bullshit. that the river's huge, okay? It's not Superman, okay? I said, "Did you look behind you? You said the scream happened behind you. It's because there's another one standing right there. Freaked out when you were there, it screamed to let the other one run. And it probably hunkered down. And what did you do after that?" And she goes, "Well, my husband came running down. I came running up to him. We ran back up to the van and we left."
Right.
I said, "And you never saw anything hiding in the grass right there next to you."
She
Right.
never looked behind her.
Right.
Right.
They're
They're intelligent.
intelligent. That's how they do that. And what happened when Brendan and Leo and Renee saw what they did in Tahlequah?
Yep.
When he came out and was searching for that out of the RV and saw that creature squatting there and watching them, and then he heard banging coming from behind the house,
Yep.
and then he finally dawned on him there's two of them. It made all that noise so that one could get away from
Right.
us.
Right.
And all researchers have been saying for a while now that by the time that you start hearing the wood knocks out there and stuff, they're closer to you than you think, and they're
Yep.
communicating because they're all watching you.
Right. Right. In response, Roth, I'm going to say this one last thing, and then we're going to have to get off of here because we're like about 10 minutes over already. But in response, Roth, to your comment about they never seem to be aggressive or anything. I have two words for you that I want you to look up this week. And if anyone else out there wants to look this up too, I want you to look up Dyatlov Pass. Dyatlov Pass, Pass incident.
Also known as the Devil's Pass or
Yes.
something like that. Yes.
Yes.
That is an amazing story that is still unsolved today.
Yep.
And it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
But that's a whole nother topic
That
right
is-
there.
that we could do a whole episode on that story.
Yeah,
so
you're gonna have to read that.
Well, there's also, I mean,
We
That's
talked about
the
it. Yeah,
the
the
skiers. Yeah.
Yeah.
look up Missing 411, David Pilates, and 400 plus people missing in national parks in the last 15
Yeah.
years.
there's
Just
that.
being
There's definitely
so-
that.
Who's to say they're not being kidnapped by?
aliens.
Yeah.
Well, and there's another. Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Serial killers, aliens, Bigfoot. Something. But
Chupacabra. Don't forget Chupacabra.
And Chupacabra, the hairless
The little
manless dog.
chihuahua.
The little but oh shit, there's the one story I'll bring it next time. The story of the guy who was actually this is many years ago, decades ago. He was out camping, sleeping in a sleeping bag out under the stars, and he remembers he zipped himself really in there so he can sleep. And he remembers being thrown over a shoulder and carried off, and he was kidnapped by a family.
Wow.
Have you ever heard that story?
I have not.
I will share that story with you next time.
Yes, please do.
All right. You just got to be here for it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We're done.
So that's been a good show, guys.
Been fun.
So yeah, check back in on us and
just goes
stay
wild.
tuned for more episodes. We're sorry we kept everyone a little bit longer tonight, but we really enjoyed it. It was a good talk, and
Absolutely.
we will
fun.
we'll be having more episodes next week. Just keep an eye out for it. It helps if you like our page and subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the little notification reminder. That way you get notified every time we go live, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. And you guys got anything else?
Nope. I was just waving goodbye.
All right. All right. You guys have a good night, good week, and we will see you next time around.
All right. See ya.
Oh, shit. I got to get to the right place here.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Okay.
There we are. Have a good night.